about having one coach experiment with that app, somebody who would be willing to do it. And I'm willing to pay for it for the team because to me, it complements the mission statement exercise. The coach and the parent and the player, it's privy just to them, but it also can be the coach sharing stuff with everybody about what he's doing and what he's trying to do to gain respect. But there's also private communication between the three, parent, player, coach, that leads to respect, trust, and respect. So, Michael, I'm waiting to hear back from a coach that might take it on in that association, and you use it effectively. And my question, Michael, are any other coaches using it effectively, or are you just experimenting with it yourself?
Yeah, no, thanks. Well, it's in New York, but that's okay. Pennsylvania is close enough, and we're down here in the States, so I can't remember all the provinces of Canada anyway. But yeah, so I use it. I've been using it Power Player about 4 years now, almost 5 years. And we do have a lot of coaches on the platform. I mean, there's a lot of. I think what happens is there's so many different technologies out there to use. I do a lot of work with Coach Them, as Tom knows too. And I think you get comfortable in a platform, and it's hard to leave that platform. You like something, you like the way you're doing it and the way you're sharing it. So I mean, if you've never done player communication or portals where you're communicating with the parent and the player and sharing video and sharing practice plans and grading your kids and giving feedback, then Power Player is a great program to jump in on because you're basically getting in, you're not reinventing anything. You're just starting from scratch. So I think, for me, I think the most success that I've had, very similar to the conversations we have, and I have been listening in and out, just doing a project here. But the crazy thing is, Kyle, to your point, and Carrie brings this up a lot where you are, is we're all in the same boat. It's like the same problem over and over and over again. There's no, I talk to probably 8 or 9 organizations a week, and I literally could just, tape my conversation and then replay it to every organization I talk to after that because they all have the same problems. They have board members that are very ineffective. They have people that only care about their kids and the level they're coaching. Nobody sees the vision of the bigger holistic approach to working with children in youth sports. And by the time the people that know it figure it out, their kids are out of hockey and they're no longer involved. So it just gets it's frustrating from that point. But Kyle, I love your approach that you say, well, listen, I'll work with the programs that want to work with me. I'm not out there looking to change the world. I'd rather and Kim mentioned that in her conversation, right? That come to me and I'll work with you. If you don't want to come to me, then you'll figure it out, I guess, or you won't, right? So.
I think the
But as far as
biggest
the
thing
Power
would
Player
be
goes, it's a great resource to have to use. If any coach gets the opportunity, Wally, to have you fund that for them, if they don't take it, then it's crazy because it's just a great program and it's addicting. Once you get in there and once you start communicating with your kids and you see the feedback you get back from the players at practice, because now like at the youth level where I am, like I don't have 2 hours after practice to meet with my kids, but I can, quote unquote, meet with them at home when I'm watching, the Ranger game or the Penguin game, or I'm on my app and I just filling in my little, have 15, 16 kids on a team. Very, very simple to send a little note to each kid each week, communicate with them, tell them what you're doing, tell them how you're feeling about their play. And guess who reads that the most? Mom and dad. And it's just a really simple way to make sure you can put people on the same page, and then adding the mission statement, adding video. This is all, cream on top.
Mike, I was going to say that I call that the regime change, where it's just continual every association, 4 years, a new regime comes in, tries to start reinventing the wheel, maybe get a little bit done, and then next 4 years there's another regime, and it's just all continued, and it's a mess. And but I have Wally, I've definitely know of Mike's name and follow the coach's site. We actually just signed on, I believe we're about to execute it here with the MJHL, getting all our coaches involved with subscriptions in from a junior league level. And certainly I've seen his name before, and I'd be really interested in learning about the Power Player app, because I do individual work with players, and currently I don't have that clean mechanism to work with them on through that. It's just through and it works, but it's through our text, it's through email, it's through Google Drive and things like that. It'd be great to, I have looked at Huddle. This sounds like maybe a little bit more applicable.
Yeah, just 1 second, while I just want to jump in, Kyle. It's actually exactly how I use it, because I don't really work with teams anymore, except my own kids' team. Like I don't get the opportunity to work with a full team as much as I used to. But all the kids that I train, I put them. They get a coaching a Power Play subscription, which is really not. I mean, it's like $60 for an individual kid if you're just doing individual, and that's like my log to them. And like the quote of the year I got was like, how, and I'm working with a 16U prep school elite player right now, like a high prospect, in our area. And for a dad to email me back or text me back like 40 minutes after I gave the first evaluation back saying, how in the world after 16 years has nobody ever communicated with my son about the specific pieces of his game that is good and needs to improve? And to me, that was like a real eye opener, because I'm like, well, yeah, how is that possible? You've had elite level, high paid coaches that either A, don't have the time, don't have the energy, or just don't care about making sure that the individual player understands where they fit into the whole scheme of their own development. So I found with the, again, the Power Player I happen to use, you can use anything, but it's just the easiest way for me to see a dashboard on my phone, send a note to a kid, send a video. Like if I hear something on this call on Thursdays and I love it, I'll clip it and I'll send like a little video to the kid saying, oh, you got to hear this. This was this is a great thing that fits into what I'm talking about with you. Or if I see something on Instagram that I love, a drill that we did that I see a high performing athlete do, I might send him the drill, or an athlete doing it that's not as good as him. I'll say, hey, remember the drill we did with that top hand control? Look at this guy. Like he, and I have all my kids using gel sticks, as far as when they train, the heavy weighted training stick. So like I'll say, you're doing this with a gel stick. This kid can't even do it with a regular stick. So isn't that unbelievable? And it's just a way for me to archive my conversation with the player. And on my side, it's compliant to Safe Sport. Like the parent and the kid are in it. It's not an individual text to a kid. And the parent has full access to that communication, and they can't send me anything back. It's not that kind of a program. It's just me communicating to the player and then them having a log of, how I'm working with them and where we fit in. So it is a great resource, and a lot of the things I get from it, or a lot of the, inspiration I get for putting stuff in is exactly on this, comes from this call.